Hello, my name is Dr. Bagley. Thank you very much for joining me. Okay, so I got my notes over here. We're going to talk about, or we're going to continue from that last video about Proverbs 31. Okay, so we are going to be in a scripture base, and everything we talk about is be defined by the scriptures in the Bible. Okay, all right, so today's topic, we're going to talk about wanting a king, being a queen. And yeah, so this is going to be brand new. You probably never heard of this in this context. If it offends you, don't. Just understand that in today's time, things have changed. Words have changed. Meanings have changed, but the outline of action has never changed. Okay? So let's define the king, or let's use the king as the nucleus, so ladies, you can understand the outline of a queen's role, if we can give it something called a role or not, and you may or may not be. All right, so let's define some words. There's 3 words. First one is concubine. Concubine is, by definition, a woman dedicated herself to a particular man, or in this context, men, with whom she's cohabited without marriage. In other words, she is committed to one man, and that commitment to one man is long-term, may or may not be long-term, but there's no marriage based into this thing. Okay. The second word is harlot. It's a woman who prostitutes her body for hire, basically an unfaithful woman. Or in other words, any woman who says, I need you to buy me my hair, my nails, pay my bills, blah, blah, blah. Anything to provide a service in exchange for money. Okay. The scenario we're going to go into is a man. Let's talk about a man. A man to a king relations is a man who has a gift. Every man have a gift. Every man who has a gift should get to a master level within that gift. Once he gets to that level of mastery within his gift, then he can convert that gift mastery level into a profession. So once he gets to a profession, by definition, a professional is a king within himself. Okay? All professionals will look at himself and say, I am the king of my world. So let's treat it as a king. In scriptures, any writings of history, from Genghis Khan to the Vikings to everybody, the kings in Europe, scriptures is no exception to the rule. In the context, every king has concubines, and then there are harlots, and then there are wives. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. There's rules. The first rule is this: a man who's a professional, he takes his time and he works on his profession. After he works on his profession, he has space. He has time. Let's call it space, though. In that space, he is alone, and he's not supposed to be alone. So in the context of being alone, he will call a concubine and say, hey girl, I got some tickets to the game. You want to come? I'm going to a restaurant. Do you want to come with me? I got somewhere to go. I got somewhere to be. I got something to do. Do you want to come? You can even have sexual relations with this one person. And you may feel that as long as it's just you and him, you're not building a relationship, ladies. Please understand this fact. When you're with a guy and you're more in time, you're more than 3 months of time with him, and you're committed to him and he's committed to you, you by definition are nothing more than a concubine. You're someone just to fill in space. Okay? A harlot is someone who will call up somebody and say, hey, I'm going to take care of you. Just give me what I want in exchange of me taking care of you. I'm going to provide for you, but I want something in exchange. A lot of times it's sex. A lot of times it's just time. You're still in harlot because you're getting paid to play. Okay. But either way, if it's a concubine or a harlot, just be mindful, ladies, that when you're with a guy, a professional, you're not building anything. You're just filling space. The reason I say you're not building anything and you're just keeping space is because let's keep it biblical. In Genesis chapter 2, when man was asleep, the rib was taken out, God created woman. When God presented woman to man, Adam, God never told Adam, this is your wife. So please understand, ladies, God is not going to send you to a man, and God will never tell a man this is his wife. Point 2 in this example. When God presented this woman, the man didn't need time to get to know you. The man didn't need time to examine you. He didn't need time to build anything. He saw the value of this woman that God presented. And because he saw the value of this woman, he says, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, she should be called woman. The name of the man attaches itself to the womb, man. They're married. So I say in today's time, if you're with a guy more than 3 months, if you can get to a 3-month period, you're just a concubine. Okay? All right. So in knowing this, when a wife comes, now when I say a wife comes, when I say this, I want you to examine the wife aspect as being a valuable woman to that man, and an example of what is valuable to a man. It's Proverbs 31, but that's just one example. That's just one example to that man, her son. There are many, many outlines of what a woman and how her value is to a man. So you have to understand, to a certain particular man, when he sees a valuable woman, he's going to say, you're my wife. I'm going to make you my wife, period. But when he says that, I want you to understand, ladies, the only thing that's going to be between a concubine and harlot, the only thing that's being replaced is the harlot. He still has concubines for a while. Let me explain. The reason he's substituting a harlot is because the finances and all of the resources is going to be established onto you, the future wife. And you're going to give whoever you are to that man. But the exception to the rule between a harlot and a wife is the harlot should never, ever get pregnant. And the wife should always get pregnant. Let me define it. You will always see an older man go after a younger woman. Why? It's because if he makes her his wife and she's a value to him, whatever that looks like, the youth of her should provide a child. This is why it's very common for a woman to get of certain age. It's not saying that she's not a valuable woman. No, it's saying that she's a woman in the childbirthing age. That's all it's based on. So when a harlot is taken out of the picture and substituted with a wife potential because she's valued to that man is expecting, if not even the subconscious, he's expecting a child out of this relationship. The concubine, on the other hand, is what we in today's time call friends. Ladies have a lot of guy friends. Those guy friends are treating you ladies as concubine. And yes, ladies, you may go to a club or go out and you may say, I'm in control. I'm going to get this one particular guy and I'm going to be with this one particular guy. I might even have sex with this one particular guy. And I'm not asking nothing from this one particular guy. And we may have a little relations and then I'll let him go or he leaves me. And that's okay. And you are nothing more than a concubine, which is okay. And a harlot is more direct. A harlot will simply say, give me some money because my time is money, period. Okay. So when will the concubine in this relations between a man and a woman to be a wife, when does the concubine go away? The concubine goes away is according to the ethics and the morals of the man. Some kings, like King David and King Saul and Genghis Khan and all the kings and the pharaohs, they always kept their concubines. That never goes away. So ladies, if you ever think you got this particular guy and he's an extreme professional in what he does, don't ever think just because you're the wife that he will not have a woman or whatever he likes as a concubine. He will always have it. He has it at work. He has it in his extracurriculum. He has it within even in your friends' listings. He has a concubine. The concubine won't go away until you marry, one, the day of and or very close to the day of marriage. Then, and the agreement between you two, that will go away. Okay. Rule number 3. So that was number 2. Let me go talk to the men now. Men, if you marry a concubine or harlot, you will end up in pain. A concubine is committed to one, true, but she's never settled with one. Let me explain. A woman can be married to a man. And in today's time with social media, she can get on social media, show herself off, never see a man, never talk about her husband, she may even show her kids off, but she will never talk about her husband. She's married, but she's still a concubine. She's married, she's committed. She won't cheat on her husband, but she's not settled. A harlot, on the other hand, is never committed to a man, ever committed to a man. Yes, you can say there's some exception to the rules, and yes, there are plenty of guys who've actually gotten with a harlot, a prostitute, in the form of a bar girl or a form of whatever. And yes, you got married, and yes, she changed, meaning she's not going out to other guys. She's just only with you. That's great. And you providing her a certain lifestyle. She's content within that lifestyle. And she's committed to you as long as you can provide that lifestyle. Get her for an example, like a car accident. Get laid off from your job. Let your pension go away. Let something happen financially that you were here and then now you're here. That's when you realize she was a harlot, always. Okay? So never marry a concubine. Never, ever marry a harlot. You will end up in pain. A couple of things, guys, that I need you to understand. When God presents a woman, you will know immediately if that woman is of value to you. If she's not of value to you in the context of a wife full-time working with you, then put her in her position. Either she's going to be a good concubine to you or she's going to be a good harlot to you. Either way, a concubine or a harlot is irrelevant when it ends, and it always ends. Don't complain. Don't get mad. Don't get sad. It's just the fact that you didn't know that you married or you have a concubine or harlot. Adjust. Put it in its position. And ladies, what is by definition a good woman? Let me explain the Proverbs real fast. I'm not going to get into it. You can look at that other video. A Proverbs woman, a virtuous woman is a woman who don't need a man. She has her own job. She has not only her own job, she's taking care of her health. She's also taking care of her staff. She's taking care of her friends. She's taking care of her family. She's good in church. She may be in spiritual or something to that effect. And so in context, she is independent. She has her own house. She has her own car. She has her own. She does not need a man. That's a virtuous woman. The question of a virtuous woman to a man is, if I get hurt, will you still be with me? And a virtuous woman will say, I will be with you if you get hurt or not. If I lose my job and it takes some time before I start and grow again, will you still be with me? A virtuous woman will say, it's irrelevant of your money. I got money. My money is yours is mine, and we're together. It's irrelevant. I'm with you. That's a virtuous woman. It's not a man taking care of a woman. Taking care of a woman is a harlot's position. A man providing for a woman is a harlot's position. A woman who can take care of herself, don't need a man, is a virtuous woman. Okay. So a king, ladies, please understand, you can be a queen. You can be a queen of concubines. You can be a queen of harlot. You can be a queen of a virtuous woman. But you can also be a queen of a virtuous woman that's just too old. Older women teach the younger women to love their husbands and children. Meaning, if you're in your 20s, ladies, or in your 30s, if you're not a queen by then, if you're not valued by then, if you're still hanging around with guys who are treating you like concubines, you may need to look in the mirror and adjust yourself. If you are a good woman, but you say you don't want a man who doesn't have X, Y, and Z amount of dollars in his bank account, or he has to work or whatever, if he needs anything to do with finances, ladies, if that's you and you say the requirement is he has to have finances, you're nothing more than a harlot, my friend. No one is judging you. My concern and my hope is for men to listen to this and see and hear the difference and not get hurt by falling in love with or have strong emotions towards a concubine or a harlot. and just simply use them and to fill space. And when you fill them up with space, just realize that in a matter of time, if time comes, but as long as you're seeking and hoping and praying that God will send you a virtuous woman, when she comes, then you won't get hooked by them. You'll be able to go after them, or the one who's virtuous to you, without any stronghold emotions to them, and you can commit yourself to her who doesn't need you but wants to be with you. And I know it's very hard, and I'll close with this, guys. I know it's very hard, but let me give you one more outline of how trickery this is. If you see a woman on social media and she looks like a model and she's beautiful and she dresses elegantly and she's awesome, just know we appreciate that. But on her social media, if all you see her is traveling, restaurants, going to the bar or club, or having, she's either a concubine or a harlot. She's not a virtuous woman. Why do I say that? A virtuous woman is someone who don't need a man. So she's going to show, I'm independent. I got my own job. I got my own house. I got my own car. I don't need you. I also don't need a man. If I have a man, here's the trickery. If I have a man, guys, listen to this. If she has a man, she may be a good woman for you, but she's already a concubine. She may be committed to another guy, but she likes you. So she's committed to him, but she's not content. She's not settled. And so now she's coming to you. A virtuous woman, like a king, and this is the last thing. A virtuous woman, like a king, has her profession. And when she has her profession, she has space, she has time. She's not spending her time in clubs and stuff. She's doing business. She's doing herself. She's holding on to herself. She's looking valuable. She may be with other friends, but those friends of hers, they're all trying to establish value within themselves. And so the pictures and the social media she's not showing off her body. She's not showing off that she has this, that, and the other, but she's waiting for a man. She's a good woman. And that woman, guys, go after. And when she sees you and you see her, present yourself. A woman will know if you are a man that she wants as equal as time as the man in the scriptures, as the Adam saw the woman. If the woman who shows herself to be of value and she's not with another man, if she shows herself of value, then she can present herself and you present yourself. And in time, and I say give it no more than 3 months. In fact, guys don't need even a month. We don't even need weeks. A woman may need a week or 2 or 3 or 4. But keep in mind, guys, she presents herself. It's you who does the initiating. It's you who go out and take initiation of what God has provided. And if you don't take initiation of what God has provided to figure out, is she a virtuous woman? Is she a concubine? Is she a harlot? then it's, whose fault is that? All right. All right, so that's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. So thank you very much for spending your time with me. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. If you have any other thoughts or that may be a little personal, please DM me. And if nothing else, thank you again and have a great one, and we'll talk very soon. All right, bye-bye.